Well, I did it again, guys. Another bike company reached out to me and they wanted me to test their bike on the farm. They liked how we tested the last one, so we're gonna test this one. So this is the Freedare Saiga. It's a little bit bigger than the other one. So this has bigger wheels. It has a wider wheelbase. It doesn't have the suspension in the back. So it's got front suspension, no rear suspension. It does have a rack, and it has the same, I don't know that it's the same motor, but it's a 750 kilowatt motor or watt motor. It has a headlight right here. It's got this nifty little monitor. It tells you how fast you're going. It's got 3 different power levels. It has a trip. So I've ridden it a little bit. I've gone about 13 miles on it. I just charged it all the way up to do this test. We're down to 96%. I am out here in a field. So the first test we're gonna do is how well can it do in the mud? So before I did it in a muddy pivot, in a muddy track out to a pivot. Well, this time I shut this pivot off. It's been watering. We're gonna drive through the mud. I can barely even ride a 4-wheeler through here. I don't even know that I could. So we're gonna see how well it does going underneath this muddy pivot. But it seems like a pretty nice bike. I've ridden it just a little bit. Oh, I better close the charge port. Don't want to get water in there. But yeah, we're gonna give this thing a good test and see. It has hydraulic brakes, front and rear. This one has metal fenders. It seems pretty nice. Seems like it'd be a nice little bike. So we're gonna give this a test. Okay, so I don't want to go right here at the middle, so I'm gonna start the bike up and we're gonna ride it down under its own power. We're gonna ride down here. I'm gonna stand up because this doesn't have the rear shock, so it is a little rough in the field. But I'm gonna ride down here where it's putting out a little bit more water, so there's gonna be more mud, ideally. Oh, there's water in this track. Ooh, we'll jump that one. So we'll ride down here, then I'll get the drone out and we'll do a good test. I think we'll start here. Okay, well, let's give this a shot. We're gonna go over here. Ooh. So this should be pretty muddy. We're gonna see what it can do under its own power. Oh yeah, oh dear. Oh, that's too much mud for it. Oh, come on, Bessie. It doesn't like going through this deep of mud. It's going, but when I get to some spots, it really wants to, I have to actually pedal it through. The motor doesn't want to do it. But I have another test. Right here, there's some water in this pivot track. So we're gonna go just over here. We're gonna see, I'm gonna see how soft this is. Not bad. We're gonna see, okay. So this isn't quite as muddy. Whew. But we're going through deep water. It'll go fast right there. We're riding in a pivot track. Ooh, this is gonna be muddy. Oh man. All right, all right. So that's where the water ends. That's just from the pivot watering down. But I'd say that did pretty good where it was just water and a little bit of mud. I would say you get into deep mud and you're gonna have to pedal. You're not gonna be able to go through it with just the motor. But yeah, I got a little muddy. Let's go do another test. We're gonna go do a hill climb. I just thought of another test. It's called the bump test. So I'm riding crossways in the grain field, which is very bumpy, and there's pivot tracks. And we're just gonna go full speed and see how it goes. Oh man, it is bumpy. We're definitely doing more than this. It's very, very bumpy, especially over the pivot tracks. But it's all going under its own power. And I'm jumping these pivot tracks. It does pretty well. Okay, now I'm going to go to where the hill is and we're going to do the hill climb test. All right, now that we're on the road, the battery is down to 83%, but we're going to see how fast we can. The top speed is 28 miles an hour. We're going to see how fast we can get to 28 miles an hour under its own power, not pedaling. So, taking off. There's a hill up here, so we'll see if we can get to top speed by the time we get there. Oh, it just went to 0 power. Okay, there we go. I don't know if we're gonna get to top speed before this hill, but there's 20. I don't know if you guys can see that. Should be able to see it. 22, 23, 24, 25. Well, now we're to the hill, so it's gonna go really fast, but there's 28. Now we're just coasting. So once you get over 28, it will not assist you anymore. But let's go to the farm where the big hill is and we'll give it a hill test. So one thing I just figured out on this monitor, it has a power gauge right here. So I'm pedaling right now, so it's not putting in very much power. If I stop pedaling and hit the throttle, it goes all power on this little spot right here. So when pedaling, I mean, I'm barely pedaling in 7th gear, and it's barely having to put any power in to go 22 miles an hour. So that's pretty good. They claim, I think, 45 or 50 miles of range, but I'm guessing, I think it did say that's with pedaling. Now once we get done with all these tests, I am going to do an all electric, no pedaling range test. Okay, there's the drone. We've got this big hill here on the farm, and it doesn't look that big, but it's a pretty good sized hill. It's probably about a 30-foot climb, and it is a little wet because the pivot just watered. It's not mud, but it's soft. So we're going to see if this thing can start out on its own on a hill. I don't know that it can, but then we're going to try. We'll probably have to use the pedal assist, but we'll see how easy it is to pedal up this hill, because without pedal assist it would actually be pretty difficult. So we're going to hop on here. We're going to see. Okay, we are there, we're in second. So we'll see, can it start on its own? No, so it will not start. And I'm not even, we're on a little bit of a hill here, but not bad. It won't start on its own. So now let's try the pedal assist. Okay, we're going. It seems like once it starts going, it's easier. So I'm in first gear, obviously just pedaling, but it's assisting me. And it's going, I mean, I am pedaling pretty hard, but I'm not struggling. Able to go up this hill. I mean, it definitely made it easier. But as far as starting out on a hill, I don't know that it could start out on a hill very well. But this is soft mud. I mean, this is what we do on the farm. We're out in fields, we're in soft dirt. So yeah, that pedal assist worked really good. So if you're using pedal assist, you can definitely go up some pretty steep hills, especially if it was hard pavement or a packed trail, not a soft field. Now we got to go back down the hill to get my backpack. Please don't wreck. That would not be fun. Oh. All right, I'm gonna get this loaded up, and then we're gonna do another test I didn't even tell you about. The pressure wash test. Will this thing last and hold up to a pressure washer? Okay, we are here at the shop now, next to our big pressure washer and our big new combine. So I'm gonna pressure wash this off. All right, well, it's clean. Now, for the moment of truth, get a little bit of water on their electrical display here. Let's see if it turns on. Hey, look at that. It does still work when it gets wet. It should if it's a bike. So now I'm going to take this, I'm going to charge it back up to 100%, and we're going to do an all-electric range test using just this little throttle here. This throttle, that little thumb throttle, is the all-electric. If I pop that, it wants to go. So it's at 71% right now. I will bring you back once I've done the full range test. I just finished the range test on this thing. I ran it all the way down to 1%. We went 24.1 miles. So pretty good. And I was all electric, just using the thumb, wasn't pedaling. If you pedaled on this thing, you probably could get 50 miles. You could probably double that if you were just constantly pedaling. Just not hard, just a little bit of pedaling. You could probably get 50 miles range. Another cool thing about this bike is it's not just an e-bike. So it's a smart e-bike. So it has this app that actually tells you your battery and everything. You can lock your bike. You can find your bike if it's stolen. You can do all sorts of stuff. It also has a Go, which then you can see the power modes that are on there. You can see how many miles you've gone, everything. So it's pretty cool. It has a map as well, so you can track your rides and everything. It also has theft detection if it'll focus. So you can lock your bike down and it'll send you alerts to your phone if somebody's messing with your bike. If there's jostling of the bike, it'll send you an alert if somebody does that. Say somebody's messing with your bike, go check on it. So it is a pretty cool e-bike. It's pretty smart, has a lot of cool features. I kind of like it. It's fun. So if you want to go get you one of these e-bikes, the Freedare Saiga, go and click the link in the description below and use the code Rocky100 at checkout and you'll get $100 off. So as far as a farm bike, I think it worked pretty good. It didn't like the deep mud, but it did go through everything else. The pedal assist has a lot of torque, so it's pretty nice. And I like this rack on the back. You could put a basket for some tools. You could put a toolbox on it. So I think it would work pretty good. But yeah, overall, it's pretty fun. I like it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I love you. I'll see you in the next one.